Hello and welcome to my Forever in Motion live class. A few of you might be still coming on, so I'll just kind of chat away here as some of you log in. So for today's class, we are going to work on what I would call inequity or uneven fitness training. So we're just going to work a little bit on not necessarily always being even on both sides. So we're going to try some of that today. It just changes up how we work our body. So it's a good thing to practice every once in a while. So a couple things that you'll need to have with you today, and I'm just going to move you over just a little bit here. A couple things you'll need is a chair. I always encourage you to have a chair for support, just in case you might need it every once in a while. You can have bands as well as a set of weights as well. So those are some of the things we should have. And then you'll also notice I have a water bottle up there, and you should have a water bottle nearby as well so that you can have a few drinks of water. So, okay, I'm gonna get started. And I know a few of you are gonna probably still be coming on here every once in a while. And that looks pretty good here. I think you can see my feet. Oh, hello, we have our first person joining. I'm just gonna make sure you can see my feet a little bit better. And hopefully my phone doesn't do a flip all the way down. Okay, so let's start by warming up the body. So let's start by marching out. Good. And as we start up the class, we always want to remember the ABCs of posture. And the ABCs of posture stands for abdominals in, bum tucked, chest lifted, and chin tucked, which is the foundation of good posture, good balance. Great. Okay, so starting off with that march. Now, always know that you always have at least 3 options for pretty much anything we do. You have the option to sit and do your exercises. So if your preference today, maybe you're just feeling a bit off, or maybe you just feel more comfortable and seated, then you can do all of your exercises in seated position. This would be with our back away from the back of the chair so that we're sitting up tall and sitting with good posture. You know, our second option is always to stand behind our chair, using that chair for support. I'll move it forward a bit so you can see a bit better, but using that chair for a little bit of support. So you could have those fingertips on the chair if you needed the chair for support, doing any of the other things that we do. And then your third option is if you're feeling great today, you don't feel like your balance is off, you're not feeling lightheaded or dizzy, then you have the option of no chair, sitting. You maybe just are behind your chair but don't necessarily need it for support, and you're just exercising freely. I will always be to the side of my chair just so you can see me, but you might want to stay behind your chair just in case you needed it any time during our class today together. Okay, so we've started with a march. Let's go into a tap to the side. So let's tap to the side together, tap to the side together. And you always know that seated, standing behind the chair, or standing away from the chair, this will look exactly the same, right? I could have my hands on my chair for support. If I'm seated, I'm still tapping to the side. It looks exactly the same. So can we start speeding that up just a little bit? Let's have those arms swing to the side here at the same time. Our brain tends to want our body to move the same direction as our arms and the legs in the same direction. So you know that we're not going to make this easy the whole time for you, right? So we're going to challenge our brain just a little bit in a moment, just having to think a little bit harder. So easy is arms and legs going same direction. Can we have those arms and legs going opposite direction? So just a little harder on the brain, just making us think a little bit harder. Did you have your cup of tea or coffee or caffeine of choice this morning? If you didn't, you might be regretting that right about now. Good. Okay, a couple more. Always thinking about those ABCs of posture. So we're standing tall, chest is lifted. And for this cardiovascular or warm-up portion, we're just breathing naturally. So we're not holding our breath. We're not excessively inhaling or exhaling. Just breathe. Okay, we're going to keep those legs going to the side. One more challenge. Let's have those arms go in the front here. Oh, look at that. See, I was wanting your legs to keep going to the side, and I bet you might be doing just like me. My legs have gone to the same as my arms, and I went backwards. It's because I was thinking about what we were doing next after this. So my legs instinctively went the same way as my arms. So keep those legs going to the side, and I want you to reach those arms forward and back. Again, just a little bit harder on the brain because arms and legs are going in the same direction. Seated, once again, will look exactly the same. You're just sitting, tapping to the side instead. Okay, 4 more. 3, 2, and last one, march it out. Good, okay, let's take a couple of deep breaths. Inhale all the way up, and exhale. Again, nice deep breath in, inhale all the way up, and exhale. And last time, nice deep breath in. Great, okay, are you starting to feel that heart rate maybe start to increase? Maybe you're starting to get a little warm, starting to breathe a little heavier. That's great. We want that to happen in our warm-up. We want to gradually warm up the body. We want to lubricate the joints. We want to warm up the muscles that we're going to be using in today's class. Okay, let's do now a step touch. So step together, step together. That's it. Now we can keep this simple, just simple step touch. We could be holding onto our chair. We could be sitting in our chair, and they're all going to look exactly the same. Let's add some arms. Now right away, since I've kind of started you gradually, I'm going to right away challenge your brain with these arms. So you're just step touching side to side, and then we're going to add diamond arms with that. So arms are coming side up, side down. Good, so straining your brain a little bit. You know, I don't feel like I've worked you hard enough today if there isn't at least one thing that you tell me that I hurt your brain for. So that's what we're going for every day. Just something to help us strain our brain or work that brain just a little harder. Good. Okay, and 2 more. And last time. Great, march it out. Okay, grab yourself a quick drink. If you don't have a water bottle there yet, grab one real quick. And I'm just going to stop my feet for just a moment while I am grabbing my drink. Otherwise, we generally want to keep our feet moving or our heart rate going a little bit in our warm-up and our cardio section. Okay, how about we do a 1, 2, 3 tap now? So let's do 1, 2, 3 tap, 1, 2, 3 tap. I'm gonna come a little closer too. I think you can still see my feet, and then I can see how many of you are on here. A few of you on here now, 4, great. Good, a couple more people are gradually coming on. So this is our 1, 2, 3 tap. 1, 2, 3 tap, 1, 2, 3 tap. 1, 2, 3 tap, 1, 2, 3 tap. Again, this will look exactly the same in seated or standing behind your chair. So know that you always have options, right? You don't have to stand like me. I just happen to be already sitting at my desk for 3 hours today, and I want to stand up and do my exercises. Okay, I'm going to challenge your brain just a little bit harder here now. And I love doing this in person, so I'm sad we're not doing this together. But what we're going to do is we're going to continue to do this 1, 2, 3 tap. But I want you to count up by 7s. So I'm just going to start you off, and then I want you to continue on, okay? So every time you tap, 7, 14, 21, what's next, 28, 35, 42, what's next, 49, 56, oh, what's next? You got it? 63 and 70, great. So just having to process things, I call this multitasking. So we're having to kind of comprehend or go through our multiplication tables as we were doing that 1, 2, 3 tap. So just again, a little harder on our brain. And again, you can give me a thumbs up if I challenge your brain now or later. That is great. Okay, let's do, how about we warm up the back side of the body? So let's do a hamstring curl. So we're just gonna step, ham, step, ham, step, ham. Bringing those arms back, swinging those arms, squeezing those shoulder blades together in the back. Great. Now again, you can be doing this seated. You could be doing this standing behind your chair, holding onto your chair for support. I feel like I'm a broken record, but know that you always have options, right? Your seated almost always looks exactly the same as the standing, and it's just in seated position at the front half of your chair. So please choose the option that is best for you today. Good. So my knees are staying pointed down. I'll tell you what we tend to do with this one. We tend to do this with this one because we have really tight hip flexor muscles. So try, if you can, keep those knees pointed down as those heels are coming back. And I like to add a little bit of a row with that, warming up the back of the body as well as those hamstrings and glutes. Okay, are we feeling like we're getting warmed up a bit? Okay, great job. Okay, let's see, 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Okay, let's march it out. Great job. Okay, one more time, grab that drink, and we're gonna bring that heart rate down, only stopping the feet long enough to have that drink. And then we're back, moving those feet just a little bit. So let's bring that heart rate down just a little bit. And we were only going for 8 minutes there, 7, 8 minutes. But still, we brought the heart rate up. We want to gradually bring that heart rate back down. So let's do a little bit of a mambo. So let's step forward and step back. Step forward, step back, forward and back. Good, so this is a little bit of a mambo step. We're gonna keep it nice and low and keep it nice and easy here. Stepping forward and back. And again, your seated will look exactly the same. You're just not moving your whole body forward and back, but your foot is still stepping forward and back. Okay, 2 more. And last time. Good, and switch sides. Stepping forward, stepping back, and forward and back. And we're keeping it kind of simple, but if you spent some time maybe in Mexico or Cuba, and you would like to add a little bit of hips to that, you know what? Dance like there's no one watching. Because probably nobody is watching you right now. Nobody's watching me right now, I guess except for you. So step forward, step back, little hips, and 2 more. And last one. Great. Okay, shake it out. Okay, so the heart rate should probably have come back down just a little bit because that should have been a really easy mambo. Let's march it out. Okay, so now that I have you all with me, I was mentioning in this at the beginning, but now that I've got you all with me, I'm just gonna let you know what our plan is gonna be for today. So I said at the beginning, today's class is gonna be a little bit about offset loading or uneven training. So in everyday life, the way I think of this is in everyday life, if I go to the grocery store, you're still moving your feet a bit, right? When I'm at the grocery store, I oftentimes have for me, a 4-liter jug of milk on one side and a loaf of bread on the other. So I'm not even. Oftentimes, this is the way I feel. So we're gonna train today kind of like that. Not necessarily always even, but sometimes not even on each side. So it'll just change how we feel these exercises just a little bit. Okay, so we should be heart rate down just a little bit by now. So let's keep going. So I want to start with our band here. And we are going to do kind of like a bow and arrow with our band. So again, if you feel more comfortable seated, you're going to be sitting right now. If you feel comfortable standing, I always encourage, if you're able to stand up. Just take away some of the seated part of our day and stand up. So we're going to bring our arm up like this, okay? And what we're going to do, I have a knot in my band, so I kind of like to use that knot every once in a while. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull that band out and away and then back. My elbow is bent slightly, and I'm pulling back just with that one arm. So watch what I'm not doing. I'm just gonna tilt a bit so you can see. I'm not just straightening my arm, that would be triceps. I'm actually pulling my whole elbow and shoulder back, working my upper back muscles. So this is gonna be kind of like what we do normally. We normally would do a back row, and this would be kind of an upper back row, but we're doing one side at a time. So I want you to pull that belly button to spine, turn that core on as we're doing this here. Good. Nice. Bring the elbow back, bring the shoulder back. Don't necessarily straighten the arm, not tricep. Good. Okay, let's see 2 more. Ooh, I'm starting to feel that, isolating just that one side here. And last time. Good, and release that. Give that a shake. And sometimes when you isolate one side or really think hard about one area that you're working, you can work it a little bit harder that way. So you might not have to do the full 8 to 10 reps in this case. So again, I've got my knot in my hand. My hand is about chest height here. I've got that bent elbow about a 90-degree angle, and then I'm bringing that elbow and shoulder back. Again, I'll tilt so you can see this. I'm pulling that elbow and shoulder back, pull back, versus I'm not just straightening the arm. It's not tricep. We'll get to triceps later. Good. You're bringing that whole arm back. Great. And I'm going to pull my belly button towards my spine. Core is turned on here. Our core is always stabilizing or holding us still, so that core should be turned on at all times, just to help us with our stability, our balance. It helps us more effectively do the exercises. And we're always breathing. We're never holding our breath. So we're exhaling as we pull back, inhaling as we release. Now, if some of you are Forever in Motion leaders out there, you know, I'm going to do quite a few things today that are offset load or that are one-sided exercises. Know that you don't have to do all of them in a class. This will just be one video where I'll show you several different types, and maybe you incorporate, you know, 2 of them in your Forever Motion class that day, for example. Let's take our band, let's bring it behind the back. And so I like to joke we're toweling off. It's kind of like you're toweling off. The band is underneath the armpits, and we're standing nice and tall and kind of nice and close to the screen so you can see me right away. Know that you can be, again, sitting in the back of the chair if you prefer. My elbows are going to be up, palms forward. And this time what I want you to do is one at a time, press forward with one hand and then the other. Now, as I do that, I can automatically feel kind of, I've pulled my belly button to spine, my core is turned on. I can feel as I go to the side, my core on one side work a little harder than the other. I'm balancing. I can feel my body just shift in weight as I'm doing one side at a time. I'm always breathing. So I'm exhaling as I'm working, inhale as I'm coming back down. Now my camera is a little bit lower than my body. So my hand is actually chest height. I know when I'm like this, it looks like my hand is more like chin height or shoulder height. But if I was just a little bit lower or my camera is a little bit higher, you'd really see that my hand really is chest height versus shoulder height. So make sure that that hand isn't coming too high up. I'm going to lower my hand just a little bit. Now I'm a little lower than chest height, but then you can see it better in the video. Ooh, starting to feel that chest. Let's see 2 more. Good. And last time. Oh, can we do 1 more on each side? I said 2. Let's do 2 on each side. There's 1 more. Woo. And know that you can always stop sooner, right? If you feel like you're going to fatigue, and that's where I was starting to feel just a little bit of burn in the front of my body, a little bit of chest, a little bit of anterior deltoid, then we want to go to the point of fatigue, or the point of feeling like we could just do 1 or 2 more, but then after that, our form might end up changing. So that's kind of the point we want to stop, the point of fatigue. Okay, let's drop our band. Let's grab another drink of water. Great. And we're gonna grab our weight. Okay, so this one here is gonna be a little bit more of a challenge. I'm gonna give you a couple options. I'm gonna show you seated first, and then I'm gonna show you standing. So if you're doing this seated, I want you to hinge forward at the hips, and you're gonna bring your hands to your hips. So hands come straight down, and then hands to the hips. Sorry, I know one side of me is cut off here. Hands to the hips, and then hands back down. That's your one option. Now, if you are able just to do a little bit of offset loading with me, we're gonna take a step to the side. We're gonna go into a little bit of a lunge position to the side, and only go as far as it feels comfortable. Hands are gonna come down to the side here, palms facing in, and we're gonna pull back and release back down. Pull back and release. And no, if this just isn't right for you today, you could bring those feet back together and do those feet together. I'm just trying for a little bit of offset loading. Good. Let's see, 2 more on this side. Oh, do you feel that one leg starting to work a little harder? I sure do. And last time. Great. Let's come back up and let's lean to the other side. Other side. And pull up. Let's try 5 or 6 on this side now. Good. So some places I'm feeling this is in that supporting leg, so the leg that we're leaning over. I'm also feeling this just a little bit more. Keep going along the side of the body here. Lats a little bit more, and particularly on one side more than the other. Okay, let's see 3 more. Let's see 2 more. And last one. Great. Okay, come back up, bring those feet together. Give that a little shake. Let's put those weights down for a moment. Good. And shake it out. Let's do just a nice gentle shoulder roll up, back, and down. Great. Ooh. Okay. Very good. How are we doing so far? We're doing okay. Nice to see you all here. I see a lot of my friends watching. That's great. Nice to see you. Okay, so know that you can always give us a thumbs up. The thumbs up is just one of the buttons at the bottom. You can click on that. I'm not going to do it right now and worry that I might turn you off, but feel free to give me a thumbs up or a comment at the end how you did today. So let's move on to some leg training. We're going to keep going with this offset loading idea. I'm going to give you a seated and standing option. So for those of you who prefer seated, then I'm going to get you to take your band in seated. You're gonna wrap it around your foot. We've done this one before. Elbows are tucked close to the side, and you're gonna simply straighten the leg and bend the knee. Straighten the leg and bend the knee. Okay, so that is if you're seated. Can you do 10 on one side and 10 on the other side? If you feel confident to do your exercise, your leg exercise standing, we are gonna do what's called a split stride lunge. It's gonna feel like a one-legged squat. So maybe I'll show you first in standing. No, you can have that chair in front for support. I'm not having my chair so you can see me. One foot is forward. The other foot is not back as far as a lunge would be. It's a little closer. And we're gonna sit the hips back and then come back up. So this is gonna feel like in my front leg, this is gonna feel like a one-legged squat because 90% of my weight will be in my front leg, and only about 20% or 10% of the weight is in my back leg. So it's kind of just like a kickstand. So making that front leg do most of the work here. Again, if I've got a chair for support, I can use that chair for a little bit of support here or balance. Only use it as much as you can. I'm gonna turn to the side so you really can see. If I was to bring both feet forward, it's gonna look exactly the same. It's gonna look like a squat, isn't it? But with that one leg back, most of the weight is in the front leg, just a little bit of weight in the back leg. I am going to hinge forward like I normally would with a squat. Okay, let's try 2 more. Know you're stopping sooner if you feel like you've gone to fatigue. And 1 more. Okay, so that leg will have been worked. This leg really wouldn't have done much that time. So let's switch sides. Other leg forward, other leg back. And again, it's just a slight step back. Here, I'll turn to the side. You can see it's just a slight step back. I'm gonna sit my hips back and then come up. I can still wiggle that back foot because there isn't a lot of weight on that back foot. Good. Great, that's looking good. Now watch my form again. This should look exactly like a regular squat. I'm hinging forward, but I've got one foot back in a kickstand position. Good, so a lot more work on that one side. Okay, let's try for 3 more, knowing that you're stopping a little sooner if you need to. 2 more. And last time. Great. Okay, give that a little shake. That was some great leg strength. Let's grab another drink here real quick. And Teddy is gonna walk through real quick to say hi. Hi, Ted. Okay, turn around, Ted. They don't like that view of you. Okay, let's move on to some shoulders here. So for shoulders, why don't we do an upright row today? So you can either do this with weights or tubing. So I'm gonna choose to do this one with weights today. If you're gonna do this with tubing, the tubing would be underneath your feet, okay? So tubing would be underneath your feet, and then you're gonna hang on to your tubing in your hands here with some tension on your tubing right off the top. Or you can choose to do this with weights. So we're gonna look exactly the same whether we've got weights or tubing, and we're just gonna bring those arms up, base of the chest, and then back down. You'll notice my elbows are only going parallel with my shoulders, hands to the base of my chest and no higher. Seated, my friends, are gonna look exactly the same as you know. So feel free to do this seating as well. Seating as well. Could I say, do this exercise as seated as well? Good, great. Make sure you're breathing at the same time here. Exhale and inhale. Good. And again, we're thinking about our posture. ABCs of posture, abdominals pulled in, bum tucked, chest lifted and chin tucked. So this one here, an upright row, is working our upper traps. So you might feel this a little bit in the neck. So we're strengthening those upper traps or upper neck, as well as our medial deltoids, which is our middle shoulders. So you might be starting to feel that on the top part of our shoulders. Not the front of the shoulders or the back, but more the middle part. Good. And let's try about 3 or 4 more. And always know if, once we're done about 10 to 12, if you're not feeling anything, then you might want to think about grabbing a little bit heavier weights next time, or a little bit stronger tubing or band. And let's do 1 more. Great, good. Okay, and let's release that. Let's put that down for a moment. Okay, so there's no offset loading in that case. In that case, we were doing both at the same time, which is just fine too. Give that a little bit of a shake and stretch it out. Okay, let's move on to biceps. Definitely we're gonna do an offset loading for this one here. And that is because in everyday life, the example I gave at the beginning, in case you missed it, was having a 4-liter jug in one hand and your bread in the other hand, for example. And some of you might not be grabbing 4-liter jugs of milk anymore these days, but maybe you have a 2-liter jug of milk in one hand and a loaf of bread in the other. Know that not always are we equal on both sides. Okay, so let's grab 1 weight this time. If you had 2 sets of weights, and what I'll sometimes do for this in class is I might sometimes have like a 8-pound in one side and a 3 in the other, or a 5 and a 3, so 2 different weights in your hand. So we're gonna stand with our feet about hip width or shoulder width apart. Okay, stand tall, shoulders back and down. You can do the exact same thing seated if you like. Now I want you to turn on your core, pull that belly button to spine, almost imagining someone's gonna poke you in the belly or give you a little jab. And then we're gonna just do 1 arm at a time. And actually, because you're just doing 1 arm at a time, let's start with that hammer grip, but then let's rotate it as we come up and then back down. Now I can just feel my core starting to turn on because I'm lopsided. I'm not doing it both on both sides. So it just, I can feel my body compensate for that unevenness that my body is creating, or that this exercise is creating. So we're compensating for that. Good. We're always breathing at the same time, never holding our breath. So that bicep curl is going to be important if I'm carrying groceries. I'm no longer picking up my kids, but maybe I'm picking up a younger niece or nephew. I might pick them up. Maybe you're picking up a grandchild, or boy, maybe you're picking up a great grandchild and you need that strength in the upper body to lift the arms. That just is just fine too. Great. Okay, let's see 2 more here. And last one. Great, let's switch to the other side. So weight will go on the other hand. You can give that a little bit of a shake here if you'd like. Okay, again, reset a bit. Shoulders or feet about hip width apart. Shoulders back and down. Chest is lifted. Core is turned on. Starting with that hammer grip and then a little rotation on the way up. Good. And again, our goal is 8 to 10. So if you felt nothing on that side, you might want to consider heavier weight or a little bit stronger tubing, because you could be doing this with your tubing underneath your feet, right? And then doing it with one hand, lifting that tubing or band at the same time. Good. I always think of the functionality of our exercises. So I always think, why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this exercise? How will it help me in my everyday life? And pretty much everything you'll see us do will help you somehow in your everyday life. Our squats help us to get up and down off the toilet, or out, in and out of a chair, or off the couch. Our bicep curls, we've talked about that already. Let's see 2 more. Our back exercises help us with our posture, keep better posture throughout our day, and help us to complete a lot of our activities of daily living just with easier, with less discomfort and pain, and with better posture and better core strength. Okay, let's grab another drink. I tend to have a drink about every 2 exercises, and that's just to make sure I'm staying hydrated throughout my class. Also because I'm talking and my throat gets quite dry, but know that you should be drinking lots too, to keep hydrated. Okay, let's move on to our triceps here. So for this one, let's grab onto our chair. And now my chair has a, you know what? I'm gonna change it up. Because my theme is offset loading, I'm gonna do a different one today, because this one really is an offset one where we're not working the same sides equally. So we're gonna bring the band behind our back. We're gonna have quite a bit of tension on the band here. Our elbows are gonna be low. So when we did that chest one earlier, our elbows are a 90-degree angle and we had one arm come out at a time, right? This time here, our elbows are gonna be tucked down. So now it's gonna be triceps, and we're gonna extend that out, arm in front. And I know I've done this one before with you too, and this one is, again, working that offset, because we're not gonna necessarily do both arms at the same time. I'm gonna say right, left, or both, and then you're gonna do it. And I'm not gonna do it because of the mirrorage, their camera, and I find people just watch me and then try to do the same arm as me. I'm gonna call it right, left, or both, and you're gonna do that. So, and it's nice and quick. So right, left, both, okay? And then you'll just notice that your core might turn on just a little bit at the same time here as you do one side or the other. So let's give that a try here. I'm gonna see who all is here while I'm starting us off. Okay, are you ready? Elbows tucked down. You're gonna straighten and bend the elbow depending on if I say right, left, or both. Let's go. Right, 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 left, right, left, both, left, 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 both, left, both, right, both, left, 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 both, right, both, left, left, right, both, right, both, left, both. Great. Okay, so that was a little bit of offset, so you weren't necessarily even each time. So I'm hoping you worked your core just a little bit. I also hope I worked your reaction time a bit, because you would have had to be listening to me and then react accordingly. So challenged your brain a little bit and work that reaction time, because if we were to have a fall, we need to be able to very quickly react, outstretch those arms, and then to stop that fall. So I really like that exercise for all of those reasons. Okay, great job, my friends. You're doing fantastic. Okay, let's once again do a little bit more for our legs here as well. So we're gonna stand behind our chair. I'm just gonna turn my chair. So we can use our chair for support, as we do for all of our exercises. If you feel like you would prefer to do this seated, then you can always do this seated as well. So for this one here, let's start with our hands on our chair. Level 1, you need that chair for support. Level 2, you don't really need it, so maybe it's just your fingertips on your chair. And level 3, your hands are hovering above. So my feet are going to be about shoulder width or hip width apart. Let's come all the way up to our tippy toes. And then let's come all the way back down and then rock onto our heels. Let's press up into our tippy toes and then back. So once again, if you don't need your chair for support, then please don't use it. Challenge your balance just a bit. Maybe just use your fingertips or have that hand just hovering above. But this is working our calf muscles as we raise up, and it's working our tibialis anterior front of the shin as we rock back. Now, our theme today was offset loading. If this is seeming, well, this isn't too bad, I think I could work a little harder, then what you're going to do is you're going to go on one leg, you're going to cross one leg behind the other, or just hold it up, and you're going to try this with one side. Now, I'm going to use my little chair a little bit more in this case. Woo! So I'm actually going to put my hands above my chair, just not necessarily stopping me from going up and down, but it's just going to stop me kind of from falling forward or back. Ooh. Okay, so again, maybe try this out. Maybe it's not right for you today. Listen to your body. And then your seated option would just be our regular calf raise. So you would just be doing the seated one leg or two legs, just lifting and lowering the heels or the ankles. Okay, one more. Okay, if you're doing one leg, switch to the other side. Good. This does make it a little bit harder because instead of having two legs lift your full body weight, you've just got one leg lifting your body weight. So a little harder on our balance, a little bit harder on that leg that's working. Okay, two more. And last time. Great. Okay, give that a little shake. Good. So that was a little bit of balance and a little bit of leg strength. I love the exercises where we kind of double dip and we get both. I call them double dippers if we're getting that leg strength and that balance working at the same time. Okay, so let's do another one that's leg strength and balance. This one will be for our glutes or our hamstrings. So this one here, again, we can use that chair for support if we need it. So this one here, we're gonna lift up one leg. It's gonna come straight back, squeezing our glutes or hamstrings, as well as we lift up the other arm, if that's available for us. Maybe we just lift the leg, and then we're gonna come back down. Again, you can use that chair for support. Lift the leg, extend the arm. You'll notice that I haven't lifted my leg very high. What I find is when people lift too high, this is what they end up doing. And we don't want that. We don't want this. We want to stay nice and tall. So it really is just a slight lift. If you were looking at my foot off the ground, I bet I'm only an inch or two off the ground. Good, and come back down. I'm gonna do this facing you this time. So one leg back, other arm, great. And then come back down, nice, slow and controlled. Again, a little bit of offset loading here because we're not doing even on both sides. So you can see my supporting leg kind of balance and compensate, wobble side to side a little bit. Great, okay. Okay, let's see a couple more here. Reach up. And this is, again, very functional, working in the back side of the body since it tends to be a little weaker. And then for that shoulder in front, very functional because I need to be able to lift my arms up, maybe to wash my hair, to reach for something off the top shelf. Again, I'm always thinking about how is this functional or important to practice in our exercises that it's going to help us in our everyday life. And this is, again, just another great example of how it'll help us in our everyday life. That last one, our calf raise and toe raise. Have you seen anybody, of course it's not you, but have you seen somebody else in your building or in your community that shuffles their feet? Then that prevents us from or helps us to stop shuffling our feet because we're working on that ankle mobility and strength and range of motion. So that calf raise and toe raise is important for that as well. Good. And let's see 2 more here. Oh, I wish I could see you. I wish we could be in person. And one more time. But I know you're nailing this. I know you've got this. You're doing fantastic. Okay, and release that. Give that a little shake. Oh, okay. We've pretty much hit from head to toe. The only thing we really want to do just a little bit more is our core strengthening here. So let's come to our chair and do a little bit of core strengthening. Don't sit down yet. Once you grab your chair, I'm going to remove my weights. I'm going to grab a quick drink. You're going to face your chair this time. So we oftentimes strengthen the front of the core, but I know you know that your core is not just your 6-pack abdominals. It's your whole wrap around, isn't it? So for this one here, what we're going to do, we're going to face our chair. We're going to place our hands on our chair. Now my feet are going to get cut off here just a little bit, but you'll get the idea. My hands are going to be on my chair. If I've got bad wrists, I could always be on my knuckles there. Maybe I could put my band under there, or if I had a pillow nearby, which I probably do, I could put my knuckles on my chair. Can you see my hands there from there? So I could be flat palms, if that hurts, on your knuckles. Okay, so hands on the chair. And then what we'll do is, actually we'll be back like this, so my feet will get cut off. What we're gonna do, we're gonna lift up our right arm out in front, and then if it's available, if you can do both, I'm lifting the opposite leg. If you feel like, boy, that doesn't make me feel very comfortable, then maybe you're lifting just the arm, or maybe you're lifting just the leg. So feel free to do just one or the other. This is working the back side of the core. Okay, let's try that again. Other side, arm lifted, other leg, or just one or the other. And then slowly lower back down. Good. You might have seen this on the ground before. People will kneel on the ground, and then they call this the bird dog. So we have one arm out, one leg, and then switch sides. I kind of think like the idea of a hunting dog might go hunting with their owner, and when the owner shoots down a bird, then they're pointing where it is. I don't know if they actually really do that. Okay, let's release that other side. Good. And slowly lower. Let's see 2 more. Again, offset loading. We're not even on both sides as we do this. So we're challenging our balance just a little bit. We're challenging one side of the body at a time and then switching to the other side. Good. So did we know that we were doing that much offset loading normally in our classes? I just happen to be telling you which ones we're doing today. Okay, let's try one more. But no, you can stop sooner if you'd like. Great. Okay, and let's bring that up. Give that a little shake. Good. So that worked our back side core is what that one was working on today. Okay, great job. Okay, let's come around. Let's sit on our chair once again. We'll sit on our front half of our chair. Okay, can we do one more offset exercise? And this one will be for the front side. I'll do this from the side and then I'll do it from the back. We're gonna roll those shoulders up, back, and down. So chest is lifted, chin is tucked, and then we're gonna maintain a neutral spine the whole time. So what I'm saying is I don't want us to round the back as we do this next one. As much as possible, try to keep that neutral spine. We're gonna extend our arms out in front. Okay, this is a fun one. And we're gonna actually roll back, lean back, maintaining that neutral spine, one arm to hip, and then come back all the way up. Let's do that on the other side. Other hand to other hip, and then come all the way back up. Okay, one more time this way, and I'll maybe switch so you can see this from the front and back together. Okay, you keep going other side. Okay, now I'll show you from the front here. Roll back, hand to hip, and then come all the way back up. Hand to hip, and back up. Now from that previous shot, you would have seen that I am maintaining that neutral spine there. I am leaning back as I do this. This is nice, slow and controlled, opposite arm to opposite hip, and then come back up. Good, and we're always breathing at the same time, never, ever, ever holding our breath. And this one's kind of a hard one to know when to breathe. Technically, we probably should be exhaling as we're coming up, inhale as we're coming back down. Good. Let's see, 2 more on each side. Nice. Good. Again, that just feel just a little bit different from our usual. We're just working one side at a time or turning on one side more than the other here. So it just should feel a little bit different from our usual regular lean back and together. Good. Okay, give that a quick shake. Maybe roll those shoulders back and down because we're holding up those arms. Okay, are we ready for our stretches now? You did a fantastic job here today, everybody. I'm gonna come a little closer so you can see me a little bit better, and I wish I could see you better. Okay, so we're gonna sit up nice and tall, roll those shoulders back and down one more time. So we're starting with good posture. Let's outstretch one foot out in front, and it's okay if my foot gets cut off. Really, the foot isn't important. You're just gonna dorsiflex your foot or bring the toe up towards your shin just a little bit. We're gonna hinge at the hips, getting a nice stretch all through the back of the leg. Hand is gonna come to the thigh, getting just a lovely stretch all through the back of the leg. We're gonna take some nice, easy breaths with that at the same time. Knowing that our muscles relax so much better if we breathe through our stretches than if we hold our breath. One more breath. And this is stretching through the calf muscle of the lower leg and the hamstring of the upper leg. Okay, let's release that. Let's switch sides. Other foot forward. And again, roll those shoulders up, back and down. Chest is staying lifted. Hinging forward at the hips. Hands coming to the thighs. And again, stretching through the calf muscle as well as the hamstring. And I always am maintaining my nice neutral spine. I know back when I first started leading fitness classes, and okay, I'm gonna date myself a little bit, but in the 1990s, when I first started leading classes, it was all about reaching for that toe, but you can just see I round my spine as I do that. So keep those shoulders back and down, hinge forward at the hips, getting just a lovely stretch all through the back of the calf muscle and hamstring. And then release that. Good. Okay, let's swivel to the side here. I'm gonna hold on to my armrest on the side. If you don't have armrests, I would ask that you hang on to the back of the chair, and then you're gonna take the other leg back. Now, the further back you can take it, the more of the stretch you'll feel in your hip flexor and quadricep. But if this is as far as you need to go before you get a stretch, well then stay there. If you can slide that foot back just a little further, then I'd encourage you to do so. I'm going to sit up nice and tall, nice stretch through the front of the thigh, pull that belly button to spine, shoulders back and down, chest is lifted. And you might even take a slight lean back with that, getting a really nice, even deeper stretch, maybe even a little bit pelvic tilt. Great. That's it. And this is stretching out of hip flexor and quadricep. I find that this is one of the tightest muscles in the body, is that iliopsoas muscle or hip flexor muscle. And it's because when we sit like this, we're getting that tightening of that. So when we sit throughout our day, oftentimes we sleep kind of in that fetal position. It's just tightening up and tightening up all throughout our day. So we need this stretch to stretch or open it up just a little bit. And I find lots and lots of people will tell me they've got chronic lower back problems. I ask them how often they stretch their hip flexors and their quadricep. Usually they say never. And I encourage them to do that. And oftentimes people come up to me later and tell me that was life-changing, that their back pain is really lessened, minimized, has gone away because they're actually stretching the tight muscle that's contributing to that tight lower back. So, great. Sitting up nice and tall. Again, remembering to breathe here at the same time, not holding your breath. And release that. Okay, let's stretch out some of our upper body. Actually, let's do one more lower body. This is, again, one of my favorites. We got time, yeah. We'll make this an hour class today. Let's have one of the feet cross over the other, so ankle crossed at the knee. Now, know if you just can't get there today, know that you could have your foot crossed the ankle, crossed at the base of the knee, or bring it up atop the knee. Now, I've got pretty good flexibility here now. I'm going to very gently press on the inside of my leg. Now, some people say you shouldn't touch a joint. Well, I'm not locking my joint in this case. I'm opening up through the hip. So I'm just gently pressing on the inside of the thigh, a little bit on my knee, and I'm actually going to hinge forward at the hips, not round my spine. Watch my spine. I am hinging forward. I'm not rounding. I'll turn to the side so you can kind of see that. So I'm sitting up tall, gentle pressure on the inside, and I'm hinging forward, keeping that spine neutral as I hinge forward. Can you see that I'm not cheating? I want you to see that I'm not cheating there. Good, and release that. Maybe you don't need that lean forward, so don't feel like you have to lean forward if just by bringing that foot up and over is enough of a stretch for you. So again, sit up nice and tall. Maybe that's all you need today. Maybe you'd like to gently press on the inside of the knee, and maybe you want to consider hinging forward at the hips just a little bit. Ooh, was one side tighter than the other? This side was actually tighter for me than the other side. I'm pretty happy with these classes, how they go online. The only thing I wish we could do is have some music. I just sometimes think some music will pop us off this. Facebook doesn't like you using kind of songs from the radio or known songs, so it's just easier for us not to have music, but I miss not having music in classes. Okay, so those are our hips. Let's move on to our upper body. So let's take our one arm across the front. We're going to keep that shoulder low. And when I say keep the shoulder low, it means we don't want to do this with that arm. We're going to keep that shoulder low. Bring that arm low across the chest, and I'm going to grasp onto my arm. Now, once again, I sometimes hear people say you shouldn't touch your joints. What we actually don't want to do is we don't want to lock our joints. In this case here, I can put my hand on my elbow. There's no risk of me locking my joint unless somebody came up to me and pushed on that hand as I'm bringing that arm in, then I might be locking that joint. But there's no risk of me locking the joint. So you can have your hand above the elbow, below the elbow. You can have your hand on your elbow, right? I'm actually cupping my elbow. This is very comfortable. There is no risk of me hurting my elbow at this point. Okay, let's take that same arm up and back, and we're just gonna gently press on that arm, getting that arm up and back for a tricep stretch. So a stretch in the back of the arm or the triceps. We always joke that this is the muscle when you wave, it waves back. That's a lovely thought, hey? Okay, and release that. Okay, let's have the other arm across the front. Other arm across the front, keeping that shoulder low. Bring that arm across and then gently pull on that arm, getting a nice stretch through our upper back. It's called our posterior deltoid muscles. Good. And let's release that. Oh, that feels really good today. Okay, let's take that same arm up and back. Gently press on the back of the arm here, and we can keep that arm down, or I can bring that arm up and over. It's up to you. Getting a nice stretch through that tricep muscle there. Good, and release that. Good. Let's do a couple nice big shoulder rolls, up, back, and down. Great. And shake it out. Okay, let's take a deep breath in. Inhale, bring those arms all the way up. And exhale, bring those arms all the way back down. Good, one more time, nice deep breath in. And exhale. We're gonna do one more thing. Exhale, bring those hands down. Now this time here, we're gonna bring those arms to what's called cactus arms. I'm gonna throw a little bit of yoga in here. Here's our cactus arms. Bring those elbows back, palms back. If you can, have those hands back far enough that you can't actually see those fingers wiggle. As much as possible, opening up through the chest here, stretching through the front of the body. And then continue to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Good. And then bring those arms down. Great. One more big shoulder roll. Inhale, bring those shoulders up. Exhale, drop those shoulders back and down. Now, one more time, we're ending with good posture. So we're ending with those shoulders up, back, and down. So you all should walk away from class today with chest lifted, good core, good posture, and just feeling an incredible sense of accomplishment that we got. Look at that, an hour class in there today. So thank you again so much, all of you, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I'd love to see you come to class. Feel free to put something in the chat afterwards. Did you like the offset loading today? Did you learn something new or try some different things? Did you feel it different? Did you feel it just different a little bit, doing one side things than the other? I hope I just worked you a little bit differently than usual today. Thanks so much for coming, my friends, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.